Hey, we wanted to share a video with you today on managing remotely. And there's some big obstacles that everybody's facing out there. Our world's been turned on its ear. Tony, I know you feel very strongly about several things. In fact, we had talked about 4 tips that you wanted to share with everybody. Whip them out there, buddy.
Yeah, these are tips that I've been working with clients on trying to help them manage remotely, and they're tips that have worked for me because obviously we're all managing remotely. The first one that jumped out was the clarity of the message and the clarity of the expectations, making sure that, because it's a little easier when you're face to face with somebody than when you're trying to manage through Zoom or on the phone or whatever. And sometimes, you'll see a head shake and you'll think that the message was clear, but it's really critical at this point to have someone repeat back to you and make sure that they understand what the expectations are. The other thing that's been helpful for me is the regularity of engagement. Whereas if I run the psychology of running down the hall and talking to somebody in their office, I may not feel I have to do it as much because they know I'm here and I know they're there. But in this world, it's the regularity needs to increase significantly, and I don't think you can over communicate. And you have to utilize a variety of different tools to communicate. So communicating often is critical. And the other thing that happens remotely is, and why people haven't done it a lot in the past, is because there is a fear and a lack of trust that exists sometimes when you want to assume someone is performing at the expectation, and you just have this innate human response that, oh man, maybe they're not doing it. So you might,
if I can't see them, they must not be doing it.
Exactly. You might, this feeling of a lack of trust. Yeah. And you don't want to take that approach. You want to trust that your people are doing it. You want to be very specific, back to number one, what you expect from them and what the timelines are with those expectations, so that it's just a question of follow-up and it's not a question of trust.
Yeah, that's a huge leap for a lot of managers. And what's your 4th one?
And the last thing I would just say is in these, during this time, is to be very compassionate when you're leading and when you're communicating, because you don't know what's going on behind the door, and you don't know what people are dealing with because you don't have access to their world. So just be compassionate and be aware that there's a lot of anxiety.